Good morning from Yummy TV, and as promised yesterday, my old mucker, 25 years later, a lovely reunion, the great Russell Mcvicar, who was my boy. Russell, Now, first things first, right? You know how we do things on Yummy TV. Russell, I have to apologise for 25 years ago. I left Loudon Grange. You had written a script or a book of some kind, and you couldn't get it out by legitimate reasons. Uncle Yummy decided...
You got the job done, so don't worry.
I got the job done.
And you met my mum.
But I was supposed to do it in the first 2 days. Shows you what a chaotic lunatic I was. It took me 6 weeks to get round his mum's. Mum, I really apologise. I came through the door talking 100 miles an hour with a ponytail, telling her that I was a great. She goes, you sit down, you, and you listen to me. She give it to me proper, you know, Uncle Yummy. Had to take a seat, you know what I mean? But this geezer looked after me proper back in the day, man. But this is going to be a good one. Different from James English's interview. Right, so Russell, first things first, man. How are you, boy, today?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm made up to see you.
Yeah, no, it's mad, isn't it? 25 years later. You didn't know I was on social media, did you?
I knew through a friend, and the only reason he said, you know, I talked about you with football. You know, like you like to talk about football.
Yeah.
And he said to me, you know someone called Yummy? I said, yeah. He said, it's on James English. He said, you're joking. I said, you know that, you know? He remembered the name, because sometimes you talk about football or whatever. And I always said, when it comes to football, scoring a goal, he was the best. So that's what he remembered, and he said to me, "John, did you want to watch it?" So I can't watch them things. You know, when you've done so much jail, me personally, you've heard every story, you've lived all through it, and it's kind of like, you know, someone says to me, "What's a prison thing?" I don't always watch them.
No.
The only reason I watched the Channel 5 thing, is because you was on it. Someone said to me, "What's there something about?" It was even,
oh, that's right. So you sort of thought, oh,
that's how it come about. That's how it come about. I said, I don't really want to watch these things. All of a sudden, I rang a mate. I said, "This is a pal of mine. These things are talking now. You was at the beginning of the show." So, and that is how I started talking about it. When he said you was on the English thing, but he didn't.
No, because me and you go.
So I've always talked about the sport in jail, and your name always comes up with football.
No better place to start than Loudon Grange, where it was probably me and your best ever jail time in history.
It's
being it just open, and it was private. We're talking 99, 2000. And that time, Russ, the one thing that stands out, obviously the sports. You looked after me. You never used to take drugs. You was a drinker. The going away party with all of us in a room, about 100 of us, Manchester, everybody in there.
About 40 of us.
About 40 of us.
Which is a double cell, massive cell. And it was about 40 of us all like drinking hooch. And the screws just dropped us out. They wouldn't come anywhere near us. They just like...
They weren't really screws.
There wasn't really like screws. They were like
shops,
people who worked in the shop.
Man.
So there was no reason to get in any trouble there.
Man, no, everyone was scared to, in fact, because we didn't want to get shipped out.
It was a sweet gaff, man.
It was a sweet gaff.
And after you left, they had a prison football team.
Did they?
Yeah, the prison football team. The prison's football team won every division.
I remember, because I remember bringing the golden boot there. Between me and the geezer from Manchester.
Shell's a very good football.
Yeah, he was good
but when it comes to scoring goals, regardless, even if it was close, I never see anyone. Right. Yeah, don't start your jive. Right.
I know.
Right? I'm remembering this, right? You was the best goal scorer by far I ever see, and I've played with some decent players and some very good players, right?
Yeah, Russ.
So your ability in front of 11-a-side pitch
and fighters.
No, 5-a-side, I expect you to score all the time. But I'm talking about 11-a-side, you had an ability to just take the ball a yard or two and shoot, and it would always go right by the post, low and hard. That's unusual.
I know, clinical. So not many chances.
No, you're by far the best goal scorer I've ever seen. So every now and then, if I'm talking about jail, which I hate to do, but I come and do it for you, you know what I mean?
What made me laugh, you see with the
I will talk about
Russell, you know when we was there, because we're talking like Paul Sampson from Leicester.
Best fighter on the wing. Best fighter on the wing.
And charismatic as well, right?
And charismatic. And he could play, when you left,
he
could play football. He was a good footballer.
He was me and you were the greatest. He used to be cool, shout out, the greatest, Yummy, the greatest.
Yeah, he was funny.
That day, the fight with me and Ronnie in the video room, right?
Yeah.
Remember in the morning, because Samuel thought he was too big for me, didn't he? So the first thing in the morning, I told him this, and he said, right, me and you down there. I was walking through about Russell and all them, everybody's walking down there at the same time. And I've gone in there, someone got up there a bit later and he tried to punch me or something, and it all went off in there. I ended up down the block.
Yeah, but what I remember is the next day, if you don't mind me.
Oh yeah, the next day when I came back, we both came back from the block.
You had like you had a shank wrapped up And I said, yeah, like, but I could see he was like in mode, like going to perform. And it took a while for you to calm down a bit.
I know, because we had that
exchange. You was going on, but I knew you'd listen to me. But what it was hard to catch you where you would listen to me in that moment.
Yeah, because he said, yeah, your punches never hurt me. I said, yeah, but yours didn't hurt me either. He goes, well, you know, there could always be. I goes, well, as soon as you're ready, I'm ready. And he goes, oh, you're not worth it. And he walked in, and Doco from Manchester was there, and that Mickey McCready as well, Irish Mick. Yeah.
No one wanted to see you get in trouble. And the other thing is, it was a straight, and neither of you lost.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought.
Well, no, yeah, but because you're not that way, you don't want nothing to be a draw. Yeah, you want to win all the time. So
I know he was bigger than me anyway.
But you had to go on, mate.
Yeah.
But we met some lovely people there.
Your lovely mum, Ross. When I got out, boy, when she come down, she sat me down. She wasn't having none of my bullshit. Boy, when I came through the door, I felt embarrassed. When I look back on how I was, because you said to me this morning, goes, Yami, when you was leaving Loudon, you told me you was going to get a gun and go and rob everyone, and you said to me, don't do it.
You just ruined yourself like I ruined myself.
Got another 13.
You've got a 13, and I'll go on. I'll finish that sentence, and I'll get a 16. So, if you call it on like that, what do you expect?
Man, when I Russ, you used to always say to me, Yami, you've got a better brain than that. You know, I was thinking as well.
You've always been a kind soul, and you've always been funny, Yami.
I know.
That's why we all loved you, you know?
Do you remember, so during that time in Loudon, we had them three that I just mentioned, Marcel from Manchester, Coley, John
Coley was the best, was the fastest sprinter.
Oh, he was rapid, wasn't he?
He was rapid.
Marcus Clark.
I had a race with Coley, he beat me.
He was just
different class.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a bad footballer on the wing sometimes, you know, depending on the day.
Yeah.
So he used to play in the football team. Not in the prison team, but he used to play on the wing team.
Yeah.
He was on our wing.
He wanted to it's hard to get rid of the team, but for his pace, we used to...
John Byrne, remember John?
Yeah, vague. Yeah. Who was Scouser?
Scouser.
I liked John Byrne. That was Jimmy Murray, Kennedy, Yusuf.
Yusuf was on there, John Kennedy.
And Jimmy Murray, me and him used to partner up. I like Jimmy Murray. Scouser.
Yeah.
Go as well, Jimmy Murray, right? I don't think I've mentioned it to you lot before, but me and Jimmy were moving at one point as well during that time as well. The Kennedys from Liverpool as well. John was a bit ginger-heady thing, right? A big timer as well, that's right. Russell, Darkus Clark, he stood out, didn't he, from Birmingham?
He was on the other wing with who could play football.
Yeah.
So he was a very skillful player. The other guy, Elroy,
one
of the best players to play with. And Marcus was always like...
Could have a go, couldn't he, right?
Always give it a go, quite fit.
Remember he had back on the pitch.
Yeah, I always liked him. I think he got in trouble as well. A lot of us. Do you remember the two terriers who was on that wing? They was doing 7s or 9s. They get out. They was back a month later.
Yeah.
So it weren't a lucky wing in that sense.
Nah.
A lot of people come back in. Mick McCready gets the 18, finishes it off, and gets another 7.
Did he?
So
I wouldn't have expected that from Big Mick.
It weren't. I know. So it weren't a lucky wing in that sense, you know.
No.
So, but
a lot of us came back.
A lot of us come back. I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh, Russ. So then that time when I was lying on my bed in the Cays after Loudon, when I got 13, I'm watching Crime Watch, and I see you grabbing a couple of boxes somewhere, and I said, "That's Russell." Because me and you had the same hairstyle.
It was 25 grand. I never grabbed the box.
Oh, you weren't not grabbing the box. I
always make them open the box. Because, Because you've got to open it. It's too cumbersome. I ain't really technical minded, so I always say to them, open it. So from that, I left blood at the scene of the crime.
That's right.
Right, and I lost an hat. Right.
But
so I was after that. I was looking at about 16, maybe a 12 if you put them together. Like I was wanting for 2 robberies, one with a meat cleaver. Where I get the scar there. Right. On a bit of work. So I think I got a 6 for that and a 10. So instead of him putting them together, he puts them one on top of the other. So when I get weighed off, I get the 16. And this time, instead of going to Loudon, they put me on full Sutton maximum security as a B-cat for 8 years. So that place there.
You went the same lap as me after Loudon.
Yeah, so we both. I think you was following me though,
Good, but I was way back before you though.
No, I made joke.
You had to do another 4 or 5 when I left.
When you told me you'd done.
Fucking hell,
when you told me you'd done 37.
Yeah, I did in total.
That hurt me there. Because I've only done 20. I thought you'd done about 25.
Oh, Russ, Russ, I was away from 12.
My mate told me.
I'd done 20 before I saw you. I did the last 2 birds. I did 18 out of that.
My pal told about the football, about it. I said, I can't watch it I said to my pal, I can't watch it. I said, it hurts me to watch it. I can't watch all them things. And it's like, even prison towels, like, I'll do it for you, but I wouldn't go through the prison towel thing in detail. But when I was at maximum security full sale, right, I get there and I won't work down the workshop. So I have ag with them to begin with, right? So I have the first 8 months of ag with the screws, right? But when I get there, we talk about legends. Dave Armani, yeah?
Dave Armani first thing tonight.
So Dave Armani is, I pray to God he's out.
No, he's not.
Right.
Got a message of one of his family members. Dave Armani was the man, for the viewers' purposes, was the man who they said allegedly with that Brummie geezer, tall light skin, Tomo, they got lifed off for allegedly murdering a sexual offender set up by the prison staff at Long Lartin. But we believe that Dave Armani and Tomo were innocent. Right? And well, that's my personal opinion. So tell us about Dave Armani, because he was closer to him.
So I was on his food boat with a geezer called John Dunlop and Stevie Bevins, right? Dunlop's game. Bevins is an absolute gentleman, right? So I'm the geezer who has to do the washing up, right? But I always look for someone who's the best at chess or the best at tennis or the best at badminton. And I do my jowl that way. I always do my jowl through sport if I can, right? I didn't play football then because I had a slight knee, and I thought if I injured it playing football, I may not be able to do any sport.
See, me, when I saw you, before we carry on with Full Sutton, Ross, I never ever saw you fall out with screws during my time. So I was surprised to hear when they were all telling me, your mate's getting loads of problems.
No, that was when I was younger.
That was when you was younger.
When I was older, like that.
It changed.
Yeah, like
I know what you mean.
Like the 6 nickings I had, that is because on principle, it don't matter what jail I go to, I'm not going down the workshop, right? If we go back in the day to the 90s, Ronnie O'Sullivan, his dad was in jail, God bless him, for a murder. Yeah. Which is really, I thought it was a manslaughter, but anyway, it gets done for murder. So he's doing 17. Right. So he was down the workshop, and I went down the workshop for 2 days. So this is my first, I'm convicted, and I'm now at Long Lartin, doing the 15. Yeah? This is just before I met you. Yeah. And I'm standing there listening to stories. I thought, it ain't for me, Yummy. I can't listen to stories all day.
Ronnie O'Sullivan's got the gift of the gab as well.
He's the funniest man I've ever met in jail. Him and a geezer called Leggy Parnell.
Not everyone's cup of tea, but many love
No, he's a great guy, Ronnie.
He's a great guy, yeah.
And he played football with my dad. They won the London Cup together. So, they won the London Cup when I was a kid, when I was about 15. I went and watched it. Right. They won 1-0. So, I was still at school. Well, I never went to school, but I was still at school officially. So, what happens is, Ronnie became my friend. Taught me tennis, him and a geezer called Ian McDonald, right, from Glasgow. They taught me tennis, and within a short time I'm as good as them because...
That's not Blink, is it?
No, it might be Blink, yeah. It might be. He was on my spur, right? Ronnie was upstairs.
That's right, Russ.
Right? And Ronnie was the other side, talking bollocks all day out the window, and I thought, thank God I'm not on that side. This geezer would drive me mad, a joke a minute, right? Yeah. He's worse than you, a joker sound.
Right?
But he's a funny guy.
Yeah,
you need them people, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want people...
I would have backed him in anything, mate.
We could have a row.
We could have a row as well.
His dad was a boxer.
Go on, Russ.
His dad used to manage the football team. Yeah. So I used to see his dad as a kid. So I'd met Ronnie and said hello when I was a little boy, and he was like about 8. No, he was about 21 and I was about 15. He's older than us, you know. So he said, you don't remember me? I said, no, Ron. He said, I was in your dad's football team. So I said, so we become a pal. Yeah. Right? So I used to jib from the not the office, the workshop, and I'd go over education. And I had a jib over there for 6 months. So one day the education geezer goes, he says, Ron, what are you doing here? He said, what class are you in? I said, I'm in English and maths. He went, but you're always down there. I said, well, what it is, I don't like workshops. He went, what? He went, I'll put you on full-time education, which was hard to do. But I jibbed for 6 months. Had I not jibbed, I would have been down the block, because I'm not going down. I can't sit doing crap, and plus I'm a little bit allergic to dust. I know. It wasn't that dusty a workshop, but I just can't stand. I'd rather learn something now. At least I've got a degree.
Yeah, well, I know, intelligent. So we'll go back to Dave Armani.
So now we go forward. I finished the 15, meet Yami. Sorry, I meet Yami, finish the 15, and I'm out 4 years on the run, and I go to Full Sutton from Liverpool jail. So Dave Armani has done 45 years, right? And Dave Armani don't care about no one. and everyone is wary.
Good character as well, though.
He's very funny, he's very loving, and great at making cakes, you know, and I like cakes. So he become a very good friend, and I still write on and off today.
Yeah.
As soon as I got out, I always write to about 6 guys.
Yeah.
So I met him there. I met Dunlop there. I'm not allowed to write to him. I'm not allowed to write to him. He's on a bar list. I've got 5 people who are on a bar list, and one of them's Colin Gunn.
Colin,
yeah, right. And I don't know him that well, but Colin, so you know, just before I get out of jail, he wrote me a beautiful letter because I was down to healthcare. I was finishing off. I had a cancer treatment, but I couldn't talk, and I went down to 10 stone. Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. But I was allergic to the feed, so he used to write to me, and other people when I was in recovery used to come down. Right. So he wrote me this letter when I left. He said, "You've got a chance at life. Listen, make the most of it." Right, and I tore my letters up, but that letter I'll never forget from Colin, and he wasn't there then. So I'll tell you who's on my wing, right? Armani, Paul Glenn, natural lifer, 6'4", absolute gentleman, right? Can ride.
I don't believe that double life and natural life is for 2 fights in a
Listen,
lifetime.
that his thing,
his
thing, right, is a manslaughter.
Of course it is.
It's a manslaughter. It's like if me and you
They've
kick off
taken
now and whatever happens, right, and you die or I die, it's not premeditated. He's gone there with no gloves, no. He's
Russell, you have someone's fight.
He might turn it over. He might turn it over eventually, but for me, it's a manslaughter. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, it's a manslaughter.
Who else, Russ?
So I'm looking for a chess player, right? And unbeknown to me, there's this big mank, right? Talk about a war. This is a war, right? There's a big mank. There's a firm there. Oh no, let me just tell you this.
Yeah, boy.
Before I'm nicked, right? About a month before I'm nicked, a little firm called the Gooch Gang from Manchester. They get weighed off, and the reason I bothered to read the article, a geezer called Cabot, who's part of the Gooch, right? He used to play next to me in the Loudon Grange football team. So we'd both be centre half. He wouldn't get past us. He was good in the air. We had good communication.
Yeah.
But sometimes, or often, I'd be in the midfield just in front of him. So I was like a protective midfielder. But if I get the ball, I'm off, right? So I knew Cabo. So I'm looking at the article and I think, oh no, Cabo, like someone I know, doing a 35 rec, I think he got.
Yeah.
Right.
Cody's, go on.
So I'm looking at the others and I'm thinking, if I get nicked, I bet I'll meet some of these. Within 2 months, I'm now playing chess with Colin Joyce, who allegedly they say is the leader of the Gooch, right?
Piggy.
He don't like being called Piggy, so...
That's weird, that.
So, if he's got his reasons, what you've got to understand here, when they build a case against you and all this, yeah, they say, oh, he's a gang leader, he's this, he's that, and they put things in the paper that might have suited the prosecution to build the case against him.
100%.
So when they say he's the leader of the Gooch, what people don't understand is the Gooch is a massive unit. It's not just 5 or 6 people. It's a bigger group of people, and to say he's the general and all that is an exaggeration that suits. So, but he is who he is, right? And they are who they are. And it says in the paper, which I should say to you, this is disgraceful. The murder rate in Manchester went down 70% when they was nicked. That is as bad a thing you'll ever hear. They put posters of them on the walls in Manchester, and I'm reading all this in the paper and thinking, this is madness. I've never seen that before.
I saw that.
So now I'm away with him. He can play chess, right? So
deep thinker.
So Dunlop goes, you can play chess. He said, it's Russell play, yeah? So he goes, yeah, all right. So he comes to the pad, and I'm 3-1 in front, right? This would be the only time I'd be in front with this geezer. He can play chess, right?
Yeah, Russ.
Plays on a chess computer all the time, very intelligent and very, very focused, right? So we become friends through chess, but he beats me in general to chess 10-5, 10-6.
Yeah.
He's a better player, stronger player, good with the queen. And this goes on for months and months, but all of a sudden he has a fight with 10 screws. They couldn't put him down, right? And they were saying afterwards they couldn't put him down, so...
Strong geezer. Serious, man.
Very, very serious. So I lose him as a friend. So he goes, right, gets swagged via the strip cell and all that. Yeah, you know the score, right? Yeah. He goes, and then I think Curtis Warren comes. But before Curtis Warren comes, there was murders with the Scousers, who had the biggest firm in the jail at the time.
I was getting letters about this.
So this is what happens. So probably the two hardest, certainly the gamest, but there's a geezer called Kabar, absolute gentleman. I knew him briefly on the wing, right, over 6 months with Piggy, right, Joycey, right. So him and Will, who was on another wing. I don't know if Will must have been on my wing briefly at the other end. It's the biggest wing in the jail. It's like it's twice the size of a normal wing. So what happens is they have a kick-off. So I think Kabar knocked one out. Will does a couple. The Mukhtar,
I know him too.
the suicide bomber, good badminton player.
Yeah.
He runs at them. So one of the Scousers, who's also a Muslim, he splits them up, stops them fighting. When the screws come and say, you're going to be cuffed, taken to the block, this is Yusuf. He says, nah, we ain't going fucking cuffed, right? And they will walk off separated. So basically Yusuf was hated by the screws for a while, hated by the Muslims, and hated by some of the Muslims, some of the Scousers, and some of the screws, right? So what he had to go through ain't right. So, but I don't want to talk too much about that. But what I will say is, right, for me, I just swerved some of the Muslims and anyone who was slagging Yusuf down, right?
Yeah, you're loyal.
I just swerved. I'm not having that, right? Because I didn't think that was right.
I liked him as well.
So it took me 6 months before I was, saying hello to people again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's because in the cage.
Yeah, but if you've got a code, then stick by them. And most of them do, and that's all sorted now. But there was people slagging him down, people saying you're either a Muslim or a Scouser. And I'm thinking, hang on a sec, you can be both. And if you stop people fighting, he's a stand-up guy. So for me, it all becomes super paranoid. Now, if you're watching this and you've been in a normal jail, you would know as much about jail as me and
I've told him time and time again the tenseness.
But in a maximum security, it doesn't matter who you are. You could be. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be.
100%.
You could be.
You can't sleep in peace in there.
You've got to be like on the ball, because if you in these situations, what happened in this occasion?
Stuff for us.
There was a massive paranoia problem for the whole jail.
It's
like a wave.
Bomb waiting.
So you get 80 Muslims there, and all the non-Muslims ain't part of a gang. It's like, they've got 5-handed here, 5-handed there. And everyone's now deciding who is going to get done next. So now there'll be someone who's done something wrong. So someone weighs someone in. So now we're all banged up again. We're not out of cells for 2 weeks, right? The Scousers get moved out, and people who was on their firm started to go down, not on the numbers, but they had to go down the block because they didn't fancy it, right?
Yeah, I see it.
So then Curtis Warren arrives, right? And now it's kind of normal again, right? So the first time I see him, I thought,
he looks infestable, man.
no, but what it is, when they move you, when you're double A, you've got prison clothes. So he had like a baggy thing, so he looked a bit tubby. He looked a little bit out of shape, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But when I see him in the fitness room, he's super fit.
Yeah.
He could do 5,000 metres. I think it was either 17.5 minutes, which might be a bit quick, but in about 18 minutes and something, right? He's very, very good in the rower, and he's not tall.
No.
So Paul Glenn, he was on the food boat with Paul Glenn.
Right.
And the kid who used to cook for him was like a younger lad. He was blind, a hamster, right? And he used to train me for, well, I'll get to that story in a minute. So basically what happens is Curtis says to Paul, you're just a meathead, right? So Paul goes on a fitness crusade.
He used to do that sometimes.
Right, if anyone out there's rowed, this geezer done it in 4:01, 1,000 metres.
Yeah.
You won't beat that.
Yeah.
So if you're fit, I mean, someone called Mcvicar would be world class. I told you that. Yeah, but I never met him. But he's world class, so it's different. But you won't find anyone who can do 4:01, and if you can, well, that's like almost like professional level.
What did Curtis say then, though?
Well, Curtis just shrugs, doesn't he? Curtis don't really, you know what I mean? Curtis don't.
He don't like losing, does he? Yes.
Well, he don't like losing. I'll give him that. He don't often lose, Curtis. He's,
his face changes.
if he'd have been a footballer, he can't play football. I said, you're the only Scouse who can't play football. He said, no, I was not good. I said, fuck, he would have been a general. But let's go back to Loudon, talk about football. Matty Reid, great
From
Matty
Birmingham.
Reid. What a player.
I was trying to remember his name.
No, what a player. What a player, Yemi. One of the best players ever you could play with. He'd go like that. No, you stand over there.
I was trying to remember his name.
No, I never forgot him.
Oh, my, I liked him.
Lovely guy. What a footballer.
Different class.
So how these people are not
I
pros.
forgot his name.
No,
I
I
never
never
just
forgot him.
reminded me.
Yeah, loved him dearly. He was on another wing to me, but when you play football against
Matty
him,
Reid. Me and him gone good.
what a footballer.
His skill, all them balls when it's cut his dream.
But that's how Curtis would have been. My point is this: that is how he would have been because of his brain.
No way.
With the
with everything
with
else.
the understanding of football. Matty
Yeah.
Reid had the best understanding.
Yeah,
of
because
seeing
Curtis
the
has
pitch.
got a really intelligent brain.
Well, anyway, so there's Curtis there, and there's a geezer called Keith Stewart. So I'm just going to go through some characters, not
Manchester Keith Stewart.
Yeah. So Keith Stewart.
I was his it man once.
He's a fat geezer, right?
It's mad. I know. I never understood how he won all them. His body shape.
No, I'll tell you why.
It's very, very deceiving.
His brain is twice as quick as most sportsmen.
He's definitely shrewd.
And I've even played five-side against him late on.
Yeah.
And doing a little move, he'll read the move. He'll come across.
He knows he's got.
But kick it around him, he's gone. But,
Yeah.
but over a yard, he's as quick as anyone. So anyway, there's Keith Stewart, me, and Curtis Warren, who think we're the best tennis players. So what happens with Keith, the first time I met him, he says, this is before Curtis gets, he says, where are you in the rankings? I said, well, badminton I used to be very good. When you left, I become very good at badminton.
Yeah.
Because Walter trained me,
Right.
And Leggy Paranoia, right? They're the two who trained me to be good at badminton. So, and then I played a geezer called Gary James, who was better than me. But now I said to him, well, badminton I used to be very good, but I haven't played. I said, but I think I'm arguably the best in he went tennis. So I'm thinking, this fat geezer, how's he going to fucking beat me?
Exactly.
Anyway, it's 1 all and 5-4 to me, right? And they called time. So, and if it was 5-4 to him, that's only because I can't remember it clearly, but I think I was 5-4 in front, but this was the problem. I said, well played, man, I knew you could play. He said, but I've only just come out the block after 20 months, so I know he's gonna do me, right? So over the months, I never beat him. I got a couple of draws. Once I was 4-0 in front, and the screw came out and said, all the double A men, because he's double A.
Yeah.
I've got to go back to their cell. So
who was down the block? You or him?
No, he was down the block.
That was because of the escape with that B bar. They stuck it.
I don't know. I only done
Yeah.
one week in the block there, but I lost my canteen. I lost my TV.
Right.
So Joycey was always saying, he always used to say, "Fucking hell, we're not going to be able to play chess." Right. This is before Joycey's swag. Right. So I never beat Joycey.
Nah.
I beat him to 10 once. We used to play the first of 10 games, right? And that counts as a match. He probably beat me 50 matches to 10.
Yeah.
That's how much chess we played.
Yeah.
And I beat him once, right? And when I beat him, I said, you look like you've been hit with a fucking baseball bat. He used to laugh, you know what I mean? But he's very intelligent, very determined, and very kind. He was probably my best. He was probably my best pal there in some way.
Is it, Russ?
Yeah, we was very close. Like, if he was on a wing with all the people I mentioned, he's the one, me and him, would be walking around the yard together or playing chess. The only time we couldn't be together is when he was playing, when he was cooking.
So how was...
But we would argue all the time. Yeah. You wouldn't stop us arguing.
You get into some... You're legendary for getting on one-on-ones, Russ.
But I can't, it's only on sport.
It's all sport, it's on sport.
It's only...
Oh, so hold on a minute.
So anyway, let me finish with Keith. So with Keith,
yeah,
it's a war with him. I never beat the guy. So if you're out there, Keith, sure.
Was he the best ever in history?
No, because what happens is, Curtis Warren couldn't beat me for 5. He beat me the very first match, and then I beat him 5-0.
Yeah.
He went on to beat Keith.
See?
So you can't tell.
Styles.
So with badminton, I beat Keith in 2 matches. I challenged him.
Yeah.
And I beat him 2 matches to 0. The only time he beat me was a 1-set match, right? So I'm better than Keith at badminton. But the point was this, that was my buzz. So down the gym, you would see me, Warren, and Keith Stewart all sharing the court. So we'd all play each other. And Keith, for me, is I won't say he's better than Curtis. I knew how to beat Curtis, right? But I didn't know how to beat Keith. But this is what I say to my mum. I'm going down to play the fat geezer tomorrow. Mum, she goes, go on, boy. She said, I know what you do. You'll wear him down in the end. And I should come back and say, no, I can't do him. I played him 20 times. He beat me 15. And the rest were draws, you know. Right. But I knew after the first match, to come out the block and play so well, he'd only been out a week.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's a fat geezer.
Tells you, doesn't it?
Curtis is super fit.
He never smoked Keith Stewart either, nothing.
But I was told that, because you was a very good
Table tennis.
Table tennis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You had that top spin.
Oh yeah, do you remember? And yeah, I used to do that, serve round the table when you sit. Russ,
No, he was very good.
Remember, you used to catch it, Russ. You thought he was going out.
Yeah,
I used to serve round it, and you just go, oh fuck it.
Yeah, but I wasn't in your league.
No,
I couldn't play. No, I could play. I played it 7, but I hadn't played enough. Right? So with Yemi, Curtis, Warren, and Keith, them two can play table tennis at a really high standard. So it's not just tennis and badminton with them two. They're actually very, very good at table tennis. So
when you with Curtis there, weren't there a couple of people that he had some close encounters with, like where it could have kicked off during that time?
No, because what it is, no. There might have been some people who didn't like him who come from his plot, but they're one, they're on a different wing, and two, on our wing, there was the heads were Piggy.
Yep.
Armani, Paul Glenn.
Yeah. Keith Stewart.
Dave Gunn.
Dave Gunn.
He was the first person I spoke to when I come on the wing. Because Dave Gunn was there first, right? And then Colin Gunn come later. And I tell you who else I loved, and he's a brilliant sportsman, Dion Griffin.
I haven't met him, I don't.
If you saw him play Curtis a set, cage fighter, lump, absolute gentleman, really, really funny, right? He beat me 1 in 10, right? But if you see him against Curtis, you wouldn't tell for a set who's better. Like I said to him, absolutely, but he didn't have the fitness.
Right.
And he had a slight bad injury on his foot. But he was another gentleman. I loved him dearly, Dion. He was.
Yeah.
Mate, he was immaculate, and he was a good friend of the Guns.
Oh, Russ, so all right. Before I forget,
so that's.
No, I've got to ask you this at some stage of this get together reunion with me and you. Give me a 5 in the Cat A's who you, in your opinion, top 5 hardest or gamers that you ever saw. Who you think physically?
Well, I consider the best fighter. Like, so if it was a straight man, you mean?
Yeah.
No, there's only one geezer. No disrespect to
Build a
some
Bomb.
guy. No.
Oh.
Well, build a bomb. And a geezer called Roy Shaw. Like, if you build a bomb, they say could have been an heavyweight contender in the world.
All right, go on.
Right, but he stole some jewellery somewhere, right? I only met him once at Brixton.
Okay.
And while I was there, this is what the story goes. He has an argument and he throws with his missus. So he throws all his clobber up in the air, and a pair of boxer shorts hits the screw's head, and he's balancing there, and they didn't want none of him. They all looked the other way, right?
Told you.
Fraser, I'll tell you another story, quick story at Fraser.
Frankie Fraser?
Yeah, when he was...
put him up there, Russ?
Because he got given a 10 and got... No, not the fight, no. Not
but
the fight,
game,
no.
that's game.
Game, yeah, sorry, I'll get back to the best fighter.
Yeah, get back to the
So the best fighter, 100%, right, is a geezer called James Stadler. Now, this geezer, yeah, right, could have gone sparring with Klitschko in Belgium, but probation said, no, you can't go. This is what he gets out, right? He's doing a 5.
Yeah.
And he's gone in the office at some gap, smashed the office up, punched something or other. But he was the British champion.
Yeah.
Heavyweight, K1 cage fighting champion. Right. So he won the English championship. Yeah. And then he went on to win the British championship. So in the British championship, he had a big gash, and his trainer said, "You've got to knock him out, otherwise we're going to stop the fight." And he done the geezer, knocked him out. Yeah. But he's wrestled with world champion heavyweight. Yeah. He's shown me pictures of people like animals.
So you think unbeatable in number 1?
He's unbeatable. Well, unless you're saying, that someone can beat a British champion heavyweight, that's just fantasy, mate. Because if you're saying, someone who can spar with Klitschko, but he's got all the grappling skills. Right.
So your other 4, top 5, like what?
It's got to be Roy Shaw, because Roy Shaw, right, fought Lenny McLean, and if you know about Lenny McLean, I knew Lenny from the doors. He always used to let me in because of my dad. He said, "You come in, son." He was a gentleman. Yeah. But Roy Shaw, my dad said he's the best fighter he ever come across.
Is it, Russ?
Yeah, Roy Shaw. He said in the day, not when he was older.
When he was older.
He said when he was older. He said he could be had over. I thought saying, well, fucking tell Roy Shaw.
We all could, didn't it?
No, but Roy Shaw, I met him at the Ville when he was doing 6 months.
Gotcha.
And I went over and introduced myself because I knew he knew my dad. So I used to walk with him every single day, Right, he's got arms like your legs. Right?
Yeah.
But would you be able to knock him out in the cell? You know, a lot of people come unstuck in a prison
4x4. Yeah.
You know, rugby players do well against boxers.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, but anyway, not going there. But so James Stab was right.
And
Then Roy Shaw.
And then
obviously build a bomb, but so I've got to say build a bomb, obviously, because that's impossible not to.
These are your opinion, Russell. What you saw and you've seen these.
So they're the three fighting wise that you. Then Samo could have a real
from Leicester.
Yeah, and Leggy Parnell. If Leggy gets you on the floor, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you now. If you don't wrestle, right, you know, I ain't a fighter, right? But if you don't wrestle, right, you're in trouble once you hit the deck. Now Leggy can kickbox and he can bang. So I used to have him on the pads, right? He can bang. Right? I said I want a wrestling lesson. So if he was in a bad mood, he'd slap me into the floor in instead of messing around playing, right? He'd get me in a minute or 2 minutes on the floor and I'm done, right? But he said I weren't bad on my feet, but once he got me on the floor, you finish. You can't, our balance from football, we're not too bad, right? But
too much.
But Leggy, he was very, very tough,
right,
and capable. So in certain circumstances in the cell, you wouldn't want to fight Leggy, right? The other person is One Punch Door, and he come on the wing. Right, so and Leggy.
You talking about the Scouts or the man?
The man.
The man.
So
James, the big man's.
Mate, he was an absolute gentleman. What a lovely man. So we had Samo. One punch. He's one punch.
I'm waiting for permission so I can talk about some of them as well.
So One Punch Door.
What about? Go on.
Leggy, Samo.
You got them all. You got them all. They've got that.
Like these people can have a right round. One other geezer. Damien from Poland. I don't know his second name.
Right.
But I used to have it with his Polish mate Kalkaski, who was in for murder.
Yeah.
Or manslaughter. Got a manslaughter. He was lucky, very lucky. Got a manslaughter. Otherwise he'd still be banged up now. He could wrestle.
Yeah.
So when I used to play Big John.
Yeah.
He's another one.
Which one?
John Inachu, you call boxer.
Oh my.
He was like a very good pal of mine.
Boxer, John. Rest in peace.
When you told me earlier, it made brings tears to my eyes. Rest in peace. He was.
You didn't know, did you?
I've been writing to a dead
Russell was there. Oh, that's right. You was there in full sutton when you had it with all the screws.
Well,
he fell through the netting.
What it was, what happened was, I had cancer treatment.
Oh, no.
So, and I went down to 10 stone. So, on the last month, I was 4 months. I was in the what's the wing called? The hospital
wing,
right? So John used to come. I couldn't take a visit while I was getting the treatment.
Yeah.
I went down to 10 stone, right, from 14, because I was allergic to the feed they put in me. So Piggy come down. He come back to the jail. He's now back at the jail, right? So he come down. He went. They were saying you're going to die. I said, I'm going to die. Right? I said, I've had the treatment now. I said, I'm either going to die. I said, what do you mean going to die? He said, all the screws were saying, because they take you out every day, that Russell don't look good. He looks like he's going to go. Joyce is going like that, right? He said, 9 people who've been in that cell have died. They call it the death cell. I said, you can't. I said, why don't you have a bet? I said, you could have gone and got £1,000. He said, no, you, Russell. Right? You would have died on purpose, so I lose £1,000. Right? That was a joke, right? So Joyce used to come and visit. John used to come and visit. Terry Smith, Dave Armani, and about 5 others. I can't remember everyone's name, right? Lucas. They was my pals.
Yeah,
right?
I know all of them.
So, and sometimes, a few women screws, 2 dog screws. One screw, he was the worst screw there for me, right? He went, you ain't going to go down the workshop, ain't going to do this, you'll lose your enhance. I said, I don't care about enhance, do what you want. He's come down and say, all right, Grant, you're right, like that, right? Yeah. And another one who was always all right with me, but he could be a cunt back in the day, like he'd be one of them without the cameras there, would have you, right? He was always all right with me. He used to come down. And another screw who I didn't know, but he'd had cancer treatment, right? And about 10 cons. So anyway, Joyce at this stage was on A wing, I think, right? Big John is on my wing, E wing, right? So when I arrived there, I'll just tell the story how I met John, because John is like...
Boxer John.
Yeah, Boxer John. So what happens is, the cage fighter, Stabler, says to me, there's a boxer here, right? He said he's Andy Russ and he's double game. He gets thrown out all the dispersals.
Yep.
And a lot of people are frightened of him.
Yep.
Right? Would you want to have a straight with him? No. Right. Well, you rely on round two, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
You want him
I'm
on
not
straight
round
now,
with him, it's straight
right?
now. No way.
He can rag.
I have man on my pockets a day come for me.
He right, is hardcore, right?
He's hardcore,
right? That doesn't mean to say, Scouser, who they thought he was going to stick it on, Scouser, game Scouser, said get in the recess.
Yeah. He laughs, doesn't he, and walks off sometimes.
Yeah, because
all the time.
He didn't, no disrespect, but he didn't like anyone with a knife, so he'd be wary if he thought you'd chiv him up, right? That's his weak spot.
I'm telling you, you got it right.
So he didn't go in the thing, but later John will slop on the geezer, but the geezer got moved on, so that was good. So this is how I meet John. And he's with Victor, who's arguably the most...
My Victor's with Cascada.
Yes.
I used to hear they used to move together. It's weird that
they used to play chess together.
Strange relationship there between the two.
No, it's not.
No.
There's chess fanatics.
Right, go on, Russ.
So in '97, a geezer called Sam Ralphie was a very good tennis player and chess player. He says to me, there's this geezer called Victor. I didn't remember his name.
Yeah.
He said, he's mad. He said, but he's a very good chess player. He said, you might find him and play.
Yeah.
So now we go forward. I've done the 15 straight, so I'm now doing the 16, and I'm 2 years into it. Someone says to me, there's a geezer on the other wing, really good. His name is Victor. I think Victor. So I meet him on the way to the workshops. I'm going education, right? I'm doing education, right? And Victor is going to the workshops. Oh, Russell, so pleased to meet you. I hear you play chess. I said, yeah. I said, you come out on the yard? I'll play you. Right, so we was going to play on the yard. But he doesn't come on the yard because him and Dave Armani have had murders. Yeah, they put them both next to each other. Not when I was there, back in the day.
Who, Russ?
Victor and Dave Armani.
That older, was it still going on at that time as well?
Well, if Victor wouldn't come on our wing, I never knew this at the time, but if Victor wouldn't fancy coming on because he would think Dave would make a move on him. And he'd have to fight with knives. There's no straighteners with them.
No.
We know that. But the point is this, Victor is arguably the most dangerous as regards, if someone pays him, he's going to try and take an eye out or kill him if he's paid.
Exactly.
Right? So I say to Bambi, my mate, so Bambi is just an ordinary guy. But Bambi has had an argument with Curtis Warren and an argument with Dave Armani in 2 weeks. I said, Bambi, right? I said, Curtis has killed someone in a fight. And allegedly, Dave Armani has.
Sorry,
right? Yeah, go on. Go on. Yeah, go on. Go on, sir.
You're not kidding me.
So,
go on. Sorry.
So Victor.
So
that's the first time I meet Victor. I said to Bambi, don't invite Victor over because he will want to kill one of the. There's 5 of us who can really play chess. So I says, if he comes on this wing for a year, he will try and kill one of the 5 chess players. I used to call it the death by chess club. That's why I said joke. Right? So, but Victor don't come over, right? He don't fancy it. So the next thing you know, I'm going down education.
Yeah. And
he's with a big lump, about 20 stone. So I know this must be he was a legend, John, because he's in the system.
That's me. I forgot about that bit, Russ. I'm glad you reminded him too.
Right, so he's
dangerous too, mate.
He said, "Oh, Russell," he's so polite. "Oh, Russell."
Exactly.
Russell, this is my friend John. I know John, mate. Nice to meet you.
That's to me.
Right now, the cage fighter who has been thrown out. No, he hadn't been thrown out yet, right? He had, but I'll get to that story in a minute. This is a very funny story. So that's how I meet John. That's how I meet Victor.
Yeah.
So the week the cage fighter, he gets thrown off my wing. None of the screws grabbed me. He just threw him away at a dispersal. That takes some doing. He just threw him away. And he went like that. Enough. I'll let you take me. That's how handy he was. Right. This is the cage fighter. But listen. Right. He's got a week to go. This is a really funny story. Right. And he's on the food boat with Victor. So him and Victor get on like that, right?
Who's Stabler?
Stabler and Victor together.
My
right?
days.
So obviously, what he does, Victor, no disrespect to Victor, he must pile up someone who's heavy.
He was like that Mandy Shack.
Because that way it makes him a force of being thing. Because he knows who can fit.
He needs a general.
Yeah, he needs someone. I think because he ain't from our plot.
No, he knows how to do the maths.
And he knows certain people can be a problem for him. But anyway.
Yeah.
But Victor is the one who might kill you.
Exactly.
Right. So what happens?
And he will do it for his boss.
Yeah, he'd do it.
He'd do it, mate.
You know,
He'd do it.
so Stabler comes out on the exercise. We've got about a week, and it's going on.
Yeah.
Right. His game was a Bible, and a lovely fella, and he was funny. He used to make me laugh. You know what I mean? Sometimes he grabbed me. You know, and it's like, oh man. Same with Leggy. He used to have all this. My shoulder come out with Leggy. I said, John, don't move. I said, my shoulders come out. He went, yeah, put it back. Right.
I've seen them all like that.
Anyway, he says, what do you think's happened? I said, what? He says, someone's gone and nicked our chickens. I stopped walking.
Oh, no.
I went, when you say our chickens, not Victor's. He went, yeah. I said, James. I said, fucking hell. I said, this is serious. Then I made a joke. I said, maybe the geezer don't like world champion boxers and serial killers. So he starts laughing. 2 days go by. He says, we know who it is. I said, it's a fucking smackhead, isn't it? He went, yeah. Right. So someone on the gear has thought, fuck Victor and fuck him. This is the problem with this is the problem with whoever you are. There's always someone who will take you on in some way, whether they grass you, whether they do something, like snipe you in some way, but they now know who it is. So obviously, I said to him, you can't let Victor deal with this. And I don't think Victor would, because he wouldn't want to get James in trouble. Right. You know what I mean? But, you know, before they go out and pull the geezer, if they pull him, he's going to search Victor, because if not, you can't let Victor go on a swindle like that. He might have a knife on him.
He will have a knife on him.
Well, he will have, but he might not have. Give him some credit. He's not going to get someone he's with in trouble.
Oh, right.
Anyway, obviously,
at that stage.
Obviously, at some stage, the guy is found unconscious in the recess.
Yep.
But if Victor had dealt with it for taking his chickens, what would he do? He would more or less stab him to death.
Right? For less than that.
So John has gone from A wing, which Keith Stewart's wing, he's had trouble. He's now on Victor's wing.
You used to play chess with John as well then?
Yeah, this is how we become
pals. That's how you became pals, sorry.
Right. So Ricky from the Gooch game, he says to me, Russ, it's John. I said, yeah, I met you, John. He said, you play chess? I said, yeah. He's on F wing now. I said, well, we'll try and start a chess club or something. And so what we used to do is go down this chess club, which was down, we got it done specially. Yeah. Which was down where you pray. Yeah. It was down there. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which is near the gym. Right. Right. So we used to meet every Monday, and he beat me 10-9 the first match. Right. We probably play 500 games over the course of the next 3 years. So he's my pal for about 2 years, John. Then what happens is he breaks a kid's jaw. Another Muslim, because John's a Muslim, right? I'm not a Muslim, right? Kurt's Warren ain't a Muslim. All these other names so far actually are. Yeah. You know, Joyce is. Yeah. Right? So he breaks a jaw, and then Marcus Johnson arrives. Chaos arrives, right? And he's put on my wing, yeah? He can play chess to a high standard. Yep. So I'm playing him, and I said, you play Joyce? He went, yeah, he done me. I said, he done me as well. So we always used to say, if he ever comes back, and he did come back, while we was both there, but not on, I think Chaos got moved off and Joyce went the other side of the wing, because they split that big wing in half. Yep. Because they took hostages. 3 of the brothers took hostages. Right. And they never said this on the news, but they done it because of women, the Muslim women who's being victimised somewhere, and they announced that on the tannoy, and then the police come in with the crackers.
I saw that in the newspaper, I think.
But that was the reason. It was because it wasn't an internal reason.
So you and Chaos was pretty close as well?
Yes, Chaos was like me and
I can see that,
right? So yeah, he was a gentleman. Every Tuesday he used to come and play.
Strong, he was.
Yeah, he was a good wrestler apparently. Yeah, right? Very, very strong. He put him down to basic.
He was the king of the Ackies, really.
Yeah, he's the number one.
He was number one.
But there was another wrestler. There was a kid there who could wrestle like almost pro. Yeah. And him and John had a fallout.
Oh no!
But like John was great at him, but John never went and had a straightening with him. Like I think John would do him with a fist, but if he grabs you, this kid, he's the same size as John, Polish kid. It wouldn't be straightforward for John. So all that's going on. He might be there, this kid in my cell, and John would come to me.
You're reminding me, man.
He'd go, Russ, what time are we playing? I go, all right, John. I said, we play after lunch. He'd come down every day. It was a war with John, right? Every single day we played. At the end of the war, he beats me 17-16. But during the war, every now and then, we might not talk for 2 days.
I know, I can see that.
Or 3 days.
He's like that, man.
Yeah, and I can be a little bit moody if I think something's not right. So anyway, this is the only time I was paranoid. I've come out of my thing to have a shower. We weren't talking, me and John, over a game of chess. So as I go out, I see him on the steps. He's looking at the steps, E-wing, looking down. He's looking down. They've split the wing in two now, right? I thought, what's he doing on the stairs? It don't matter if he's my pal or not. I know what he's capable of. So I go back in, I find a flask, pour the water in there, so it's all ready.
Just in case.
Well, of course, just in case.
Because if it's, but he wasn't.
It wasn't, but the point was this, right? It's the only time I got paranoid in that whole 8 stretch, because I thought, we hadn't talked for 3 days, and it's unusual, we always talk, and I thought, has he gone schizo? And thought, I'm not having
That's what it's like with men, something it's mad, Russ.
Well, with John, you've got to be careful, because he'll come with a tool. So I go in the fit, and now I've got to put the trainers on now, not the flip-flops, right? Slipping all that. Just keep my shorts on there, right? I'm going to thing. I was really quick. I got open. I thought, I'm listening. That door never opened. Thank God. So I come out, and he must have been looking down. That's the only time I thought, nah, don't tell me this. But this is what can happen with chess players. They're fucking mad. They're very competitive, and we argued over a game. I had a slight nerve problem from trapped nerve. I had to keep stretching. He loses a game and says, you keep stretching, right? I says, John, if I don't stretch, we can't play. And from that, we had like a fallout for 3 days. So when I seen him on stage, I thought, has he got like people do crazy things. So, so that was the only time I got paranoid in the whole 8 stretch that I was there, right? But me and John was like...
What an environment, Russ.
We was like that. Yeah, but...
It's mad, you're making me remind me how tense it's really a chunk, it's a proper...
It's like that, but it also ain't like that.
Yeah, but it's only one day. You're talking about time in Sutton when one spark could ignite a whole bomb and everybody could be choosing sides and fighting. I used to sit regularly in there. And I used to think, you know what, it's going to go off. And if it goes off, everyone's in trouble. I'm telling you, everybody's just waiting. It's so tense. In the mornings when you come out, it's always war, Russell.
I'll tell you who's on my wing. Wayne Black, lovely guy. Good. Don't like Wayne? Good robber. Right? Great robber. Right? Bambi Hamster. Armani was there all the time. So from day one, I was with Armani all the way through. Yeah. But when they split the wing, he was on the other side. But I used to speak to him because he don't come on the yard, Dave, right?
Yeah.
He never comes on the yard, right? So he was arguably my best friend and Joycey. Yeah. Because Joycey I knew for a year and then I knew for the last year. Yeah. But the person I spent most time was with him and Curtis on the walking round. Yeah. Every now and then I walk around with Chaos and Curtis. And sometimes I are Natchy. So if you like...
Chaos is always in a picture somewhere.
If supposing... I mean, I never had a problem, but supposing I did have a problem, it ain't an easy thing to make a move on me with.
No!
It ain't easy, going to be straightforward.
No.
But it ain't now.
And they like her, and they will back
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it all becomes.
No, it's Russell, it's the way it is.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like that as well.
But
the angels are helpful sometimes.
But when you see them programs that you was on, Razor and all them, I don't know Razor, but like, respect to all them guys. Yeah. And I knew the black geezer on there, the thin black geezer was on my
Schemer.
Yeah, he was on my education class, right? He may not know me, but
he will.
He was on my education class, right? So very quiet guy. But when I see you all speaking, I was trying to say to my friends, I said, listen, it is like that, but it ain't. It's about love and about food and about sport and having a laugh and joke. It ain't a war zone all the time, Yami, because it can't be.
No,
it makes us look.
It's different time. Depends who's in the jail, Russ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you've got people, I will tell you this. When you've got people like Paul Glenn, Armani,
Dave
there's
a lot of mediators,
right? Curtis Warren and Piggy, right? And then Chaos arrives, right?
Yeah.
There ain't no trouble in the wing, mate.
Didn't Roger Vincent come at that time?
No, not Roger. I never met Roger.
All right.
If he was on the other side on Keith Stewart's wing.
That's right.
Because at that jail, you've got A wing, which is near the gym.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got F wing, which is where Nut was, the Filipino guy, Victor. Right? And then you had my wing, which was the double wing. And you had the yard. That yard, you could go out from 6:30 at night to 7:45. Do you remember at Loudon in the morning? I used to go out every morning.
Do you remember 6 o'clock when the doors?
Mate, we used to go out and go for a walk.
The food was the best surgery food that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was brilliant. The peas and rice. Do you remember?
On Sunday and the cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake. It was like something from Marx's.
It was weird. I think that goes down as my. So Russell so Gary Tyson never turned up to Full Sutton while he was there then. So you
I think he was down the block by then.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he was doing. Oh yeah, that's right. So you spent really. How many years did you spend in Full Sutton?
8.
Effing hell. So you got, after we did Loudon, I did 8, 9.
I went to Ranby.
Yes, but you did the same lap on your next sentence that I did. Because I did 8, 9, 10 in the Cat A's after Loudon.
I didn't get the remand. They took the remand off me because I didn't actually. Over the years, I've escaped 5 times, but that's 3 for fraud, right, and 2 for robberies, and that is what really. If I don't escape the last time, I don't meet you, right, and I don't end up in loads of trouble. But when I was on 16, I didn't finish off my 15.
Yeah.
So I just never went back on a town visit sort of thing. So I hadn't escaped then. You thought I might have escaped. I hadn't escaped.
No.
But they back in the day, I would say I was most wanted in the country, or Kenny.
Yeah, those are watched.
But when they put the £30,000 reward, which you won't, if you ever watch Crime Watch,
exactly,
you won't get £30,000 for murderers or robbers. They'd never do you. I've done one robber because he fucking nearly killed a guy. He stabbed him. Nearly dead. They put 100 grand up.
Right.
But apart from that, I've never seen no one see one with a 30 grand thing. So he was targeting me, right? But I was being well behaved, shall we say?
Yeah.
Compared to back in the day.
Yeah.
So, but when I get captured, I go to Liverpool.
Yeah.
They swag me from Islington.
Yeah.
Take me to Liverpool, and that is a mad jail.
We know about Walton,
so,
don't we? I done a month for 6 weeks and a night.
It's a madhouse.
Yeah, it was probably not too bad.
So when I get there, the reason I go dispersal is because the governor says you've got to go double cell. So I don't go double cell. I go double cell. It's a single cell. I've done. How many years have I done? I've done 12 years behind the door, or 10 years then, whatever it was, 12 years, it must have been 12.
So going to a local in Liverpool?
I can't be in a double, because it'll do me like, listen, somebody's doing 4 months, right? Mate. So he says, I have to say you'll beat up your cell partner. I said, no, you won't say that.
Yeah, because they're right down, it's a stop.
Yeah, I said, no. I said, you won't say it. You'll say, I'll go in that cell because I say so. If not, it's the block. What are you going to do? So when I get weighed off, instead of me going mad them again, or some sweet guy, I go full Sutton.
Oh, Full Sutton.
Go straight to Full Sutton. Oh. So once I get weighed off, they're having none of it.
Oh, you got tortured on your last.
And then they kept me there 8 years, but I had a good time. I met all them lovely people. But
you did one before us.
They don't forgive. You just being standing up for yourself.
No, they've got you back. They tried to get you back. You know. So then, Russ, that what's his name? I know what I was going to say. When I've got to ask you this, right? Because I've never ever asked you this before.
Go on.
On that big fateful day, on the football pitch in Long Larton, you had a kick-off with someone.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie.
He was a robber. That's the second name.
Levy?
Yeah, Eddie.
Yeah.
So.
Did everyone get involved, Russ? Because football pitches are highlight.
No, he's called Paul Clark.
Paul Clark, yes.
No one got involved, right?
No.
So what happens is, I'm kicking the ball from the halfway line all the time, right? So he has a growler. So I just attack him straight away. Boom. Right. So if you ever meet Blink, he'll tell you who come off better. He'll tell you who's mine, he'll mark on me. Right? But Eddie tries to bite me, right? It's game, right? He ain't the best in the tear up. He ends up on a penalty, and that's that. And then, while we're playing, he nuts me, fair play to him, right? Paul Clark comes over, so afterwards, we shake hands, me and Eddie, it's finished. But I said to Alan Coverley, I said, because he's a knife merchant, Eddie, he's game, he'd come with a knife. I said, tell him I know a way of getting to the gym where the showers are. Right, I knew all little jibs. I wouldn't be able to get out of a prison, but I know how to jib certain things, right?
You can.
Right, so I knew how to get there. I said, if he wants to have a jib fight, we'll go in the Alan Coverley's a very good boxer, go in the showers. But the next day, I had Ronnie O'Sullivan and Alan Coverley watching my back. I was just watching the football. Eddie come up, he said, sweet Russ, we finished. I said, yeah, of course we're fucking battles. That's
that win.
Well, of course it should go that way.
He's only football.
He's from East London and he's thing. But it ain't football, because if someone growls at you make a decision. So that's what happened there. But there was no big kick-off. McAvoy was there.
Was Mickey there?
Yeah, I like McAvoy.
I know, I did too.
But Ronnie was my favourite.
Who's the nicest villain you ever met in your whole life?
Sam Ralphie, absolute gentleman, right? He was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Very clever. Him and his co-D were... Oh, and Paul Ferris. Ferris, right? Absolute gentleman. And Paul Doyle.
Paul Doyle. Yeah.
Oh, Paul Doyle. Paul Doyle, he gave me loads of t-shirts once and all that. So I never like, I never like had dough buying stuff and all that. You know what I mean? I just lived simply. He went, Doyle just dresses in the prison stuff.
Yeah.
Doyle he does 2 circuits a day. There's a 2-hour circuit in the morning and 2-hour circuit in the afternoon, right? Yeah. Even with us, I don't wear it. I said, I know you don't. He went, take that. They give me all these t-shirts. I never forgot that. Like,
proper stuff.
Kindness. Right?
Yeah.
I knew him for 2 years, right? No one, same as Samo, right? No one would, it was a polite place and a joking place, but everyone knew, like, Doyle was one punch.
What it says on the jar there.
Well, he's fucking...
Even a big man from Manchester says that.
It's a one punch of him and he's double game.
Yeah.
But Samo was double game and Leggy is double game and tricky also. So the 3 of them was on the wing and there was not one...
They won't be.
There wasn't one...
I can see, all
not even a bit
on.
of friction, yeah. Because in truth, you've got to get on.
Yeah.
Because if not, you're now in a ring with people who you could lose between them 3, if they was all to fight each other in a competition, I'm not going to say who I think would win, but I'm just telling you, any of them could win.
Some of them from
They was hard people, and they was older than us, Yami.
People forget that Curtis can have a row as well.
But listen, mate, Curtis...
He's dangerous as well. And you know what I liked about him, Russell, as well? I only saw him briefly in that little spell there, so I amazed him briefly, right, as a kid, when I was young. But he doesn't call anyone to help him. He does it himself, Russ. Because people always have the opinion that he's going to pay for it. He won't.
No.
And you know, all them guys you're talking about, you don't. The reason why it's hard to fall out some because the first thoughts that are coming into people says, if you beat me, I'm going to kill you. It's mad.
You know, Curtis has been called back.
No, he got off.
I got off.
Yeah, he got out. Yeah.
I got out.
Yeah. I done a video on him. I broke it down because he's on that.
So
he's under that thing. I broke it down, didn't I? The other day, I think I got 30,000 views on that, didn't I? And they tried to get him because he can go back to prison for just breaking his conditions.
He probably get
I've got
it
the
on
name of the
once.
thing. I'll get it for you later, Russ.
Oh, brilliant!
But he got back out, and he was smart.
And he's left-handed.
I thought he was ambidextrous, but
well, he plays badman, so I assume the left hook is what you've got to look for. Not the.
It's his thinking.
Do you see what I mean?
It's his thinking.
He's determined. He's an extremely determined man. Very polite, and he keeps things simple.
Russell, you didn't meet in the old days. You didn't meet Pat Tate.
No.
Nah.
No. What it was before, when I got to 15. I only done 1 year.
Yeah, in the
I've done 1 year Belmarsh,
right?
I was away with Paul Ferris, who was the #1 in Glasgow.
What was your character, Paul? Because I didn't really get to see him, but he was in once, I think it was in the same prison.
Very intelligent, right? Very wily. Very good chess player, good badminton player, right? And very determined and double game. Like,
what about, because there's rumours that you and Terry Adams were paddy back in the day.
No, I didn't know Terry, but I knew him. I knew him because he's a lot older and he's who he is. But he used to go to a club, in this club, right?
Yeah.
Terry, I know a couple of the others. Yeah. I was away with Mickey.
Yeah, I know he was.
Right, and anyway, so one day I should always buy Terry a drink, right? Say hello, Terry, and all that, right? So I said to him once, I was on the trot for fraud. I'm looking at about 4 or 3. If they get me, I got 4. Done 2 out of 4. So I said, "Tell, I think you could be on top." He said, "Come on in. I'll walk you downstairs and I'll get you a taxi." So I went downstairs. He got me a taxi. He said, "If they're here, I'll run at them." That's what he said, right? Terry Adams said, "I'll run at them." Right? I went like that. I went, "Thanks, Terry." Got in the taxi. And off I went. So I knew after that. I always liked him anyway.
You're like me. You
but
remember
after that, I'll never
one
ever
thing
forget
to
that.
make you,
He, for him to do that, right?
See?
Yeah, in the right place. I always...
Proper stuff.
I always thought a lot of him,
Right, Russ.
So, but I was away with Mickey for... We got swagged to... We went from Wandsworth to Campiel.
Yeah.
But because Patrick had chinned a screw there, right? The screw was on one of the wings that me and Adams would have been on.
Yeah.
So they put him on the other wing. Give me a single cell. I wouldn't go down the workshops, and they threw me into maximum security at Albany.
Yeah.
Right. So my first experience of maximum security
was Albany.
Was when I was 23.
That's something. I went to Albany for a few weeks. I finished off as a kid.
So there was Jimmy Dill there.
The Irish
one Irishman, right? I don't know, but he never talked to many people.
No.
Right? They're told to keep to themselves.
Yeah,
And so I never really talked to him. Once I went like that,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah.
like, I'm going to try and talk to him because they got to keep to their own
Yeah,
cope, right?
yeah.
Winston Silcock was on my block.
Goldfinger Palmer.
No.
John Knight.
No, tell you who I liked, Ray Johnson. Ray Johnson.
From Fulham.
Yeah, Ray Johnson. I think
Paul Johnson. Yeah, me and Paul used to spy a little bit.
His brother was a lifer.
Yep, Phil.
He was on the wing.
Yeah, he was in Mason. Yeah.
Right. But Ray is a game boy. So when we're at one allegedly, there's some slaggo bad rapist, like fucking multiple. He ain't going down he ain't going down on the protection wing. So
talked about that yesterday.
Next thing you know, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to about the stories too much. So anyway.
Yeah.
So Ray gets accused of cutting him down right down the boat.
Yeah.
One of the E-men, right, kicks him in the nut, right? So me and another E-man get pulled in, nothing to do with us, right?
Yeah.
So Ray goes down the block. They put him in a straitjacket because the screw down the block at one more or less sticks it on Ray. So Ray broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Broke his jaw.
Yeah.
Right, at Wandsworth.
Yeah.
So back in the day.
Of course, but you're in trouble though.
But Ray was built like he had a big jaw.
Yeah, and he's broad.
And he didn't care.
It, yeah.
But that was, he can have a rare and he's dangerous.
Yeah, he was dangerous, mate.
So I met him, I tell you I met him, when I got out of court at Horseferry Road, magistrates, when they capture me outside, I basically get past three of them, but I trip over and they grab me, kick me. I come back up and he went, "You all right, mate?" "Yeah," and the screw there put me in the cell with him. Now I'm the E-list, they're not really supposed to do that, but as a favour to calm me down a bit, he said, "Do you want to go and have tea with him?" It was Ray Johnson, and that's how I met him. And next thing you know, we was at Wandsworth together.
Yeah.
He can recite Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
He can read 5 books a week.
He looks like a proper hard man in his face and all that, right?
He's just a funny guy, but he was at Loudon when he was there. He was on the other side.
I missed him. Paul was there, his brother came after that.
He was there, but he was there when you was there.
Was he?
He was on the other side.
I can't remember, Russ.
I thought a lot of Ray, but Ray was always getting nicked. But then,
Russ, the major figures from the 90s into the millennium, we were talking Wayne Aaron, Nicky Dumford, and Desi, rest in peace, the great Desi Cunningham.
I knew his
Sadly,
brother.
two of them, rest in peace, Wayne and thing. But Wayne, you saw Wayne a couple of times.
No, I only saw Wayne once. I was with the
yeah.
Dumfords, right?
Nicky Dumford.
I was on the trot
was
for fraud,
Nicky Dumford,
right? And shook Wayne's hand. Right, I went, "Oh, mate, you're so unassuming, right?" And he was the man. I mean, he was like the most wanted robber in the country.
Yep.
And the greatest story, I should tell my mum about Wayne, and I should tell her about a guy in Australia. They was like 2 people through the history of crime, robbers. I'm a robber.
Yeah.
I ain't a gangster. I'm just a fucking I'm just a robber.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't like nothing special.
No,
but I'm a robber, and I've escaped. I've been lucky. I've escaped.
Yeah.
Right.
And you met everybody that was everybody, Russ.
Right.
And you've been everywhere as well.
So the Dumfords. I'm going to tell you a story about Wayne. Sorry. So
Wayne.
He gets stopped. This is what happens. He's in a brand new BM, and 2 cozzers pull him. Right. This is back in the day while he's really wanted. Right. This is my favourite story. So he gets out the thing. So the cozzer goes, "Right, excuse me, sir. I want to do." He knows it's Wayne Aaron. He goes. So Wayne goes, "Tell your mate to get off the radio." Right. Obviously it's talked up. Right. Wayne don't mess around. Right. He goes, "Tell me your mate to get off the radio." So he gets him out. Drop your strides and walk down that way.
I told
he
him.
made him walk, and he just drove off. That's Wayne. The other thing he done while he's away, because the test is right for me. It ain't just you ain't got a gun in jail. So what is the person like Curtis or whoever? What's the strength of them when they're away?
Well,
Everyone can be dangerous on the street if they've got connections to be dangerous.
Yep.
Right. What's the strength of you? Or be a tough guy, but are you what you like when you're in jail? Because there's no guns there. Right, it levels out, you know what I mean?
It's balls in the end,
Right.
and if you want it, it's just...
Well, you've got to risk your life sometimes, or risk taking a life. When I went to dispersal, I never said this to anyone, but I said it afterwards. I said, when you go dispersal, right, you're lucky if you don't kill someone or you don't get killed. They're the 2 things. If you don't think like that, then you don't understand it. And you understand it better than me, Yami. But,
no, but
I understand it.
You have to raise the level. You're not in the mix. You live a bit better than me, more principle-wise, morally correct than me in jail. But
I ain't a set, yeah.
I have to, on the jungle.
No. You're always. No, you're crazy. But
I
you're
was traumatized when I got to finish off in Pentonville, London. When I got off the bus after getting shipped out of Loudon, I felt like I got bail. I felt like I'd been in a different world. I was breathing heavy in Pentonville reception area. I was thinking, fucking hell, all them years like living like that. It was tense. I remember I came on the landing and Lenny Scott said to me, Yummy, it's like the Cat Hayes now. You don't need to be doing all that. It's a different thing here. You remember? And I was going, oh yeah. Bad, you know, Russ.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you know the script. So anyway, what Wayne does at Brixton, I was with Nicky on the biggest wing in Europe, the massive wing there. Yeah. I had murders there. I hated the screws. Yeah. I can't tell you. Yeah. I hated them screws. They was violent. So after that, it seemed very easy to me. Yeah. Anyway, Wayne oils up. Yeah. PP, and he smashed 7 screws. So it's the real deal. Yeah. It's the real deal both ways.
He will get the job done. He ain't taking. Wayne wouldn't take no check off no one. But I thought they were all scared of him. I did.
You had to be
careful. Even the big teams.
Everyone had to be careful.
I think
because he was the real deal. But anyway, God bless him. I was absolutely gutted when I knew he was dead.
And Desi Cunningham.
I didn't know Desi, but I was away with Andy. I knew Andy, and you know, I don't know. I knew him. We was in the block together at Scrubs, right? Yeah. But I'll tell you a funny story, which is interesting. When I was at the Scrubs, right, there was a mercenary guy, 20 stone, Dutch, right, bald head, and he was a doorman somewhere, but he'd been a mercenary, right? When they used to bring people to the block, right, there was an IRA geezer on where Armani was on the right wing. They used to bring him down with 2 dogs and about 15 screws. Huh. He was the only person. So one day, this 20 stone guy, someone shouted out, look at this, 2 dogs and 15 screws. Someone said he was on the circuit, like Desi Cunningham, not Desi, Andy Cunningham. They'd not seen this before. No. Right? Big geezer, right? So they come into the block. What do you think he done? He just laid down on the bed and then never strip search him. And then, you know the kid who cleans? Yeah. He'd come to me, right? He said, Russ, he bottled it. Anyway, he comes in the wing, and on that yard you could walk around 4-handed together. Yeah. It wasn't single, it was just 1 yard, right? Yeah. So it come about. He had bullet wounds in him. Yeah. His rep was phenomenal. He was like, he's not going to be frightened about 8 guys. No. He was in for murder, and he was down the block. He was phenomenal, but I don't know his name. You know, I got swagged. I got swagged out to Brixton, but he was there. So I've probably met 20 people who are phenomenal, like absolutely real hard people. Yeah. And brave. But for me, if you're going to be a prison tough guy, I think you've got to take the beatings, the strip cells. It's not just about how handy you are. No, I think it's
the pressure.
I think it's the pressure. Yeah, the pressure.
Because it's a lot, you know, guys. That's what I never get. That's why I suppose they all said.
But you never give it a rest. What is your view now?
Full belt, innit?
From the day I met
rest, I can't go to bed in the afternoon.
You're hyper, but you're funny.
Yeah.
And you're genuine, Yami. You're a genuinely lovely heart and soul.
Sometimes, Russ.
You might have got lucky, but you deserve your luck, Yami. We all thought a lot of you. You know what I mean? You was like me and Marlon. This is football. I should say to him. I said, we ain't got to tell him what to do. I said, all we've got to do is, if we can stop the other team scoring 2 goals, he'll score 2 goals. That's what I used to say. We won't tell him what to do, but we'll just try and encourage him. Right? When we used to do when I was in charge of the team. So I've got these 11 lunatics, and I'm trying to do a team talk. So
it's hard for you, but you used to manage it.
There's Samo going like this, right, in the mirrors, right? You've got 2 other people smoking, other people are eating, some people are drinking each. And Doco's sitting there looking at me. And they would never listen to me. And then, this is the funny thing, we should sometimes get to the halfway line because Marcel could kick the ball. Yeah. From the
Marcel, I liked him.
He'd kick the ball and Doco would shout charge and we'd all run forward. It was funny, and that's what I remember about jail. I don't want to remember all the violence and the nastiness.
Because that was fun. That Marlon from Derby as well. Danny Drummond was his co-dean.
Danny Drummond was a
Marlon played. I think he was.
Danny was game.
Done my man. Danny Drummond could have a little rag.
He would have a rag, Danny.
And short, stocky, banged up.
He was. I tell you who he was. Could be anywhere. So I don't need the story.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No.
So he come to Ranby.
Did he?
So this, he said, Russ, he said, I don't like it, I'm going to smash the fucking cell up. I went, go on, Dan, right? And off he went.
Serious, man. It might be a little bit of Piggy, you know?
Yeah.
Same look, kind of.
Yeah.
And his thought process. He was only a young youth when I met him, but I knew that he was probably.
I let him play in the football team for about 3 games. Did you ever meet Mark Andrews?
From Manchester.
What a player. Oh,
he used to have a team. Remember that curler he scored in Loudon from that angle, and everyone went mad.
Listen, Mark
Andrews could play.
And Sean Cochran.
That's him.
Beautiful skills.
I forgot to mention
I most respect for them 2 football. Yeah. They had intricate, lovely skills.
They were biased.
So we had a good team. We underperformed in many respects.
Yeah.
We had you up front and we had them 2 in midfield.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. But Matty Reid had the best team.
Matty Reid, you reminded me, I was thinking about it and I was thinking, what's his name?
No,
I think he goes down as probably one of the greatest footballers I ever saw.
100%.
But your pal, I forgot to ask you, lucky I just remembered it for us. Long Larton, he done a life sentence. Gardner, Lee Gardner. Is that his name?
I don't know.
Doing a life. Lee. Chubby, life on the football straight around everywhere. Lee Gardner from North London.
I just can't remember the
You used to talk about him all the time, Raz. Is that his name, Lee Gardner, isn't it? You don't know who I'm talking about. Good geezer.
I don't think
someone asked me, is it not Lee Gardner? The one that sprayed the ball everywhere. It's Gardner.
The person who sprayed the ball everywhere was Matty.
Yeah, but I'm saying before you got to London, you was in Long Larton with him, and you used to talk.
Oh, that's different. I can't remember everyone.
Everyone in Long Larton, yeah. And then I was with him. Oh no, I was with him from the early days. He's from Finsbury Park, or Paul.
The football was better at Loudon because there was teams versus there's wing teams. So you get better football outside the maximum security. The maximum security lads ain't that great at football because the Loudon, the B-Cat system, they have teams coming in.
I remember.
The C-Cat teams had teams coming in. Ramby had a good football team. So I was in each football team.
Yeah.
But in the end, I had a slight knee problem. So that's like
always like because of the sports, right?
Because of all the
my squatting and that, I'd have to wait 2 weeks. Like I wouldn't be able to do nothing for 5 days before a game because the Neil would heal. Then I'll be ready for the game.
No, you was a phenomenal goal scorer, Yami.
Obviously, a good footballer and all that and everything.
No, you was very strong.
Oh, you remember?
You used to train me. You was much stronger than me, Yami.
But you was fitter. You was more ground, more thing on. Stamina wise, you had more than me. But mind you, I never used to eat nothing. I used to say drugs, just go out, do everything, didn't I, Raz?
Yeah.
Jump high as well.
You always, every now and then you go down the block.
Do you remember you had to rescue me, you and Samo, because they were going to ship me out, weren't they?
We got you
a couple of months left when I done that suicide mission on the visit.
Yeah, you got out of the block. We got you
John Stafford was there and Ollie Brady and all that.
We got you out of the block. Ibbo was there from young.
Ibbo from Geordieland, Gary Ibbotson.
He was lovely, Ibbo. He used to do.
He was all right, Gary.
He got 7 years.
I remember him, right?
Let me just say this about prison. What it is that's unfair. If people take drugs in prison, they end up. What's the word? They end up losing their jail. Yeah. It's not fair because it means if you don't take drugs, how can you justify taking away 4 or 5 years from a person just because he takes drugs? It's not fair on people who've got a dependency on drugs. So
it's mad, though.
Ibbo was one in people. He done 7 out of 7. Just because he took a bit of drugs.
I forgot about that bit of it. I liked him as well. Billy Charlton was there as well from Middlesbrough.
He had a very good uppercut, Billy Charlton.
Do you remember?
It was his pads right? He gave his pads right? And he had a very good uppercut. Matty Fitch's had a good right hook.
That Richie guy that used to do the Brat's pack.
Richie used to train me.
What's his name again?
Richie Delaney. He had everything. He could do a bit of everything. Right?
And that Dave King was there as well. From it, remember the steroids just come out and he'd be a bit strange.
Can't.
You light skin.
I can't quite remember.
He was ex-police. No, not ex-police. Anyway, forget.
Well, I can't quite remember everyone, but the main guy was Samo. And Samo once he spent a day showing us a kick.
Do you remember?
Yeah, he showed us a kick, me and Delaney, which was he didn't show us that, but he showed us a straight kick, and he was good at that. Samo. He'd been in the ring with a not heavyweight, kickboxing British champion. And they in the ring, and everyone thought Samo won the fight, but they give it to the other guy.
Did you, Russell? Don't you remember Conan? Dark Conan, Brute Meanings, the rest of the big young.
Of course, yeah.
Lee Murray's mate.
He was on F-Wing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Barbarian and Mark Epstein. Yeah, Mark was in Belmarsh at that time. Epstein, they were Lee Murray's early.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Now Conan was there. He's pretty strong as well.
He used to like his boxing.
I used to like his boxing. Him and Marcus. Yeah, him and Marcus used to go.
Yeah.
Because he's bigger than me. I saw him in the wrestling. He goes, oh, you're so strong, Yami. And you do all that. I said, oh, I don't know.
When he was playing five-a-side, he kicked me over.
He used to kick,
when I got
was kicking Matty Reid down that day on the pitch.
But I kicked
and
him
Matty
over
Reid
back.
was laughing. He kept chopping him. Conan was a bit of a handful, you know.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't the greatest of football.
No, he wasn't the greatest of
footballers. But the best footballer, Matty Reid. Right, let's go through it now,
I think you might, right.
Best goal scorer, you. Best fighter on the wing, Samo.
At that time.
Right, after that, Paul Doyle or...
But in the
the other place, it is Stabler.
Stabler.
Right. But then it would be Big John Iannacci, right? Danger Man, the Filipino guy, Plunger.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, Russ.
Most respected, two.
Right.
Right?
Brilliant, you know, Russ.
Right?
Go on. Yeah, give me who you looked up to, apart from your old man, who stood out for you as the boss in the Cat A's. I've been asked to ask you.
No, okay. The person who I would say had most power in the Cat A's.
Go on then.
There's only two people.
Go on then.
Right? Two bods.
Go on.
Curtis Warren and Marcus.
Yeah.
Because Marcus is the brothers, man.
Oh my
right?
days. I suppose it's the best way of breaking it down.
They're the two.
Chaos.
They're the two, right? Kurt's been in the maximum security system for a very long time, and held his own, right, with everyone. So he's tried and tested, right. He's the one I would say most people over the broadsheet look up to, right. Doesn't mean say everyone likes him.
No,
that don't mean say that, right?
No.
But he's the one people think drop the skeezer at. But then Marcus has got to be equal because of the brothers thing.
Yep.
Right. It's no joke. If the message goes through, cop for this geezer here, cop for that geezer.
You never got to see Gary Tyson then.
No, I knew about it, but he was in the blocks. If they put people in the blocks, you know. So they're the two that stand out for me.
But what about your old mucker, the old school like Billy Gentry and
Billy Gentry
and Freddie Foreman and
I never met Foreman, right?
No.
But Foreman is who he is, right? So
but you rated Frankie Fraser for something.
No, the reason I rank it, I've got to rate Fraser.
There's different feedbacks on Frankie, but obviously I don't know. I don't know. I never met him.
No, my old man said he's a game man.
He told you that, Russ.
He said he's double game. He said he doesn't care about pain.
Yeah.
If you get a 10 and you do 20, right?
Yeah.
You're a double game. There's no
100%.
He lost it through violence and attacking screws.
So you've got to be something then.
Right.
People say different things. So
let them say different things. We've got different opinions. I'm going to tell you what I think. Gentry.
Yeah, I knew the early stories about Frankie Fraser were true, you know.
Gentry marries my dad's sister.
That's what I remembered. I liked him.
He's a gentleman.
Terry Gentry's his nephew.
I never met Terry, but
I like Terry, mate.
Right, he's a robber as well, wasn't he?
He was a robber. I liked getting good looking music.
He done 18 out of 18 Gentry, right?
Yeah.
He done 10 out of 15. He done 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right? He was a robber, but while he was away, he took on the screws. He did the first strip hose down cell in the system down the Gentry, which was at the Scrub. So he's one of my all-time greats. Fraser.
All right, Ross.
Bronson.
You put him in there?
I've got to put Iannacci there, my mate, because he took 100 men to come and get him.
I'm telling you.
Right? And he always
That's boxer John.
He always used to say to me, right?
Oh, God.
If they ever get my nut, he didn't speak as I'm speaking, but if they get my nut, Russ, he said they will regret it. Right? And I said to him, John,
he was a serious.
I said, John, you don't have to say that. I know. I always knew with John.
Yeah, and I did as well. We've done videos on him already.
And what Piggy said when he came and see me, I shouldn't call him that, Colin.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
He said to me, if you'd have been on the wing playing chess with him, I said, Carl, I couldn't have been fucking on the wing like this. I went up to 12 stone, but my voice is still like that. I couldn't be playing chess again. It's a battle. I said, like, you know, that's it. He said, but if he'd been there, maybe he wouldn't have fucking smashed the whole wing up.
What about Chrissy?
He might have been playing chess.
What about Chrissy Pearman?
No.
What
it is, I can't remember everyone.
No, but they're the older. I'm going to some older things.
You know,
so Russ, I think that's a fucking good part.
So I've done my best for you.
You've done.
I've done my best for you.
You know, that's the greatest interview that's ever come on Yami BTV, and it's exactly what the audience wants. And when he does part 2, I told you there's a geezer that you can remember doing it. Did I ask you that triathlon question?
Yeah, what it is.
With that geezer long. He said.
I think he played football.
He played football. Okay.
I think he played football 5-a-side. And I said to him, I'll come down and play. I said to him, I'll play football. Right?
Yeah. Russell, this has been an outstanding interview, you know. This has been the best interview so far on Yummy BTV. Listen to me, hour and a half, right? Part 2 coming up soon, man.
Yummy, love you dearly.
Is that? Hold on, Russell. Look at me. Am I really looking that good at the moment? Yummy, I'm good looking. Go on, Yummy. Russell, we had a bet when you was better looking at me. I said I'll get you in later life. I told him, didn't I? Loads of love to you, my bestie forever, and I love you all. And I'll be back up later. You have got the fireworks today.